Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Max here from A Better Universe. Shaping up to be a pretty nice day outside. Spring's coming, and it's a great day to have a Motivation Monday, in my opinion. Today I want to talk about refocusing your goals. That's probably one of the more important aspects of goal setting, is refocusing when you realize that you're not completing your goals, you've fallen off track, or you are having a hard time seeing the bigger picture, finding that motivation or that drive. Now, the idea behind setting goals is to set up small tasks to accomplish bigger goals. So when you set up all these small tasks, sometimes when you get going on them and it starts to turn into a grind, a daily grind, it's you can kind of start going through the motions. It kind of can start feeling monotonous, and you might lose a little bit of that vision or inspiration or passion towards it, just because of the daily effort it takes to put into it every day. So with that said, I mean, with these daily grinds and stuff like that, you start to lose focus, and you start to pick up distractions and self-limiting beliefs if you don't catch it right at the door. So when you refocus your goals, it's important to look at what you're trying to achieve, why you didn't achieve it, and maybe what are some of the self-limiting beliefs that kind of led up to that point. When before I started doing calisthenics, advanced calisthenics, I always thought I was too tall to be able to perform things like the human flag and handstands and all these other things. So I never even gave it a try. And now that I am doing calisthenics, find that I find that sometimes I still have certain self-limiting beliefs, like it's gonna take twice as long for me to train as it is for some of these other guys, but that's not necessarily true. It's about the amount of focus you put in, the amount of hard work, the amount of like your body's receptivity to it, your nutrition. All these factors are important, and if you're missing, one of the pillars, you're gonna be missing out on, because you're just not adding. These things multiply on top of each other. They don't just accumulate, and it's not a sum total. It's usually a multiplication of the nutrition, the workout, the effort, the focus, the inner vision, the work there, because that really determines a lot of how much your effort you're going to put towards it. So I digress a little bit, but refocus on your goals. Sit down, and that's why I like to keep mine in a notepad, because we have a tendency with a phone and stuff like that to just erase and then rewrite. So, and it's a good idea to have a backlog of what your goals might have been six years ago, 5 years ago, 3 months ago, 1 week ago. I mean, it's good to be able to look back and figure out how far you've come, and like how you've changed and how you've developed, and what other possibilities that you might be in store for just by reviewing the goals that you had. Has your view shifted from scarcity mentality, where you're just trying to make enough money to get by, to maybe thinking about saving 10, 20, 30, 40 grand in the bank account by the end of the year? That's a big shift in goal setting and revising your goals. And once you learn, there's a certain amount of knowledge that comes with every day, and all your experiences and the things that you've heard, and especially if you're feeding your mind and you're into personal growth every single day. It's the changes over a month period, over 3 weeks, over a year are dramatic. You're going to find that your goals aren't going to line up with a year ago, because your perception and your view has changed. So it's always good to sit down, and when I like to review my goals, like I said, I like to look back at the other ones, but more importantly, I like to look forward at what I'm trying to accomplish. That's really the main focus. Anytime that you're trying to set up these short-term goals and refocus, you need to have that long-term vision. Otherwise, you don't really know where you're going with it. So have that long-term vision, and rewrite your goals to get there. I mean, it's going to be ever-changing. They might start very broad. Like for me, building a website started as a very broad subject, and it breaks down into a lot of different things, all the legal work, all the the setting up, the basis of the page, the learning curve there. So I have to start revamping it and making little projects for me to learn, to do, to, you know, see, experience, and all that. And then further along, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, you know, or 2 or 3 weeks go by, and I've learned this and that, and this thing popped up, and I found out I needed this, and after I learned this is another aspect to it that, you know, also needs some attention. So things change. Life is dynamic, always changing, so that you need to be always changing and ready to revise your goal. You can't just don't set it in stone. Write it on a piece of paper, because that can always be crossed out. So that's my words of wisdom for you on this Motivation Monday. If you guys really want to get motivated, that's the way to do it. When you have a game plan, when you have a plan of attack, when you just formulate this picture in your head on how you're going to get there, and you keep revising it, keep perfecting it, keep making those course corrections every single time, because that's all it's about. You might start at a very unclear and defined image and undefined image, and you know, you're slowly making your way towards it, and as you get closer, the picture gets clearer, and you start having to revise your goals, maybe even every 2 weeks, once every month, just to keep up with your learning curve and your experience and all that good stuff. So if you're losing it, maybe like I was a little bit, maybe you're losing a little bit of that focus on that ultimate purpose, what you're striving for, it's time to sit down with a pen and paper. Don't make it just one day. It doesn't have to be all in one day. You don't have to make it a strenuous activity. Take 3 or 4 days. I like to usually sit down for 15 to 20 minutes. I like to read books on the mind and visualization and stuff like that, and then usually I'll take 10 or 15 minutes at night to, you know, kind of go through everything and write some ideas down on how I'm going to get there, the things I need to do to catch up with the competition. And that's what it's all about, guys, is, you know, you have this imagination, you have this beautiful thing of creativity that's just waiting to be used, sitting right on your shoulders. And if you just use it for a logical thought, it's gonna, there's nothing. I mean, the numbers are great, guys. The numbers give us data and all that, but the creativity is how you set yourself apart, how you show your uniqueness in this world, and how you really express your gifts and who you are. So, with that said, this is Max Fisher from A Better Universe. We got, it's day 29 of 60, so we're almost halfway through. I hope you're still killing it. Whatever goals you got, sit down, maybe revise them a little, make them more clear, more defined, something you can achieve, and keep hitting it hard, guys. Alright, I'll see you later.